Hello and welcome to our yoga class today. This is going to be a class especially for cyclists, yoga for cyclists. And I've got Charlie here to help me. He's going to demonstrate the poses. He's just done a 70k ride, so he's a little tired. This is going to be a sequence that is not necessarily for people that have just gone on a long ride. You can do this at any time. But it's going to be quite simple. Simple yoga poses for people who are a little bit tight because they cycle quite a lot. You're going to need a block or a couple of books and a strap or a yoga belt and a folded up towel. Having said you don't really need these things, but it will make everything just that little bit more comfortable and more accessible. So not necessarily needed, but desirable. We're going to start standing. So what I want you to do first, Charlie, is to bring your feet together, all toes pointing forwards, and bring your hands behind you to clasp your wrists. Now, raise the bottom of your breastbone, but keep your chin parallel to the floor, and possibly walk your hands a little bit closer to your elbows, possibly. Now, very often when we do this, we banana the back bend, so press your tailbone down and draw your navel into your spine to reduce that bananaing of the back. And now you've been here for a little while, see if you can maybe move your hands a little closer to your elbows and press your forearms into your lower back. So when you're cycling, you spend a lot of time like this. We're going to be opening up the chest today, as well as working a lot on the legs, stretching the fronts, the backs of the legs, and all around the hips, as well as working a bit on balance as well. Now, let your hands slide away and come to the other side. So bring the other forearm into your lower back and begin with clasping your wrists. So start easy, start at sort of a level 1 version of the pose. And as you draw your navel in and press your tailbone down towards your heels, maybe over time you can walk your hands a little closer to your elbows. I really recommend that you come back to this class, this sequence, 2 or 3 times a week. And over the weeks and the months, and maybe the years of doing this, you'll find that your body becomes a little more limber and that these poses become much more accessible and feel more easeful. So you might be feeling quite tight now, but hopefully with lots of repetition, you'll be able to compare how you were now to your future self, and you'll notice some progress. As you stay here for a couple more breaths, squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other a little bit more on your upper back. So you're strengthening your upper back muscles, and that will help to broaden your collarbones that little bit more. Now release the grip, let your hands slide down your back, and then find yourself a piece of wall. You're going to do the wall clock here. So Charlie, stand next to the wall with your right shoulder facing the wall, so turn away from me. That's it. And with a straight arm, bring your feet together. That's it. So he's not too close to the wall that his elbow's bent, but he's far enough away from the wall, but still maintaining straightness here, not feet too far away. Now straighten your arm a little bit more and really press in to the wall with the heel of your hand. So flat hand, thumb pressing in, all fingers pressing in. And then possibly start to turn your chest a little bit away from the wall here. That's it, your chest, and maybe even your feet, turning your toes a little bit away. So again, we're working on the chest here. Bring your ears slightly back, that's it, and the throat comes slightly back. And try not to hitch your shoulders up by your ears here. Let your shoulders be very soft. Good. Now turn your chest back to the wall and come to the other side. So bring your left hand to the wall, or the other hand. That's it. Try and make sure that your hand is at the same level as your shoulders. So you're a little bit too far away from the wall here. Walk your feet a little closer. That's it. And then you can really straighten your arm. Bring your feet together. Really together. That's it. Yeah. And then start to rotate your chest away from the wall, and even the hips follow through, and then maybe the toes. So you can feel a nice stretch here in the pectoral group muscles here, the upper chest. That's it. And try and stand really straight. Good. Push your hand in a little bit more strongly and squeeze your arm. Good. Then releasing this, turn everything back towards the wall, drop your hand and come back onto your mat. So again, another standing pose, this time with a little bit more balance work. So tree pose. turn your right leg, so this is going to be your left leg, out to the side. And you can keep your foot like this with your toes on the floor, or possibly bring your foot up below your knee. Okay? So we're going to do this in stages. If this is good and you're well balanced, then maybe reach down with your right hand and grab the base of your shin and bring your foot up higher. Really press the left leg into the sole of your right foot. Now stay with this if you feel like your foot is going to slide away, or take your hand away and bring your hands down by your sides. You've got to keep squeezing the knee joint tightly closed here, and squeeze your bottom. So really squeeze your glutes here to help you lengthen the inner thigh and to stay steady. Good. Now if this is going well, perhaps the next stage is there for you, turning your head a little bit to the right. So you're challenging your balance here. And then come back to center and turn your head towards the left. Keep squeezing your bottom, keep pushing down through the base of your left big toe. Come back to center. Well done. And then to come out of this pose, whatever stage you're at, reach down and place your right foot next to your left foot. Good. So remember, we're working in stages. Turn your left foot out to the side. Either keep your toes on the floor and stay with this as you squeeze your glutes. Bring your foot up below your knee, not on your knee. Or bring your foot up higher. So keep your hand here. Notice how this side might be different to the other side. And then possibly let your hands go. And use your fingertips as if they were holding you in place. Pressing your fingers down towards the floor as if you had ropes coming out of your fingers and they were helping you as they were anchored to the ground. And raise the breastbone, broaden your collarbones like you did when you were opening up your shoulders in our previous two poses. Good. Squeeze your bottom. Maybe you can bring that right knee back a little bit more, left knee rather. Good. Now coming out of tree pose, take your foot away wherever it is and place your foot down. Good. Standing thigh stretch here. So bend the right leg again, but this time the heel comes up towards your buttock behind you. Reach around with your hand and grab the base of your shin. Now I'm just going to turn here. If you can't grab the base of the shin, then get the foot. But if you can slide your hand a little bit more down the leg, then do. Good. Now push this right knee a little bit more forwards as you then push this hip forward. Then bring the knee back. That's it. Bring that right knee back, 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 back. And possibly bring your heel up a little bit closer to the center of your bottom. That's it. Raise your chest. Take a few deep, calming breaths here. Try not to chicken wing your knee out towards the side. Keep the laser point down towards the floor. Good. Now, keep the foot high as you take your hand away. Hamstring strengthening here. Then bring your foot down. Place your feet together. Come to the other side. Pick up your left leg. You need to reach down a little bit to grab the base of the shin, but then make sure you come back up again. Good. And if you need to go more for the toe so you have a bit more length, feel free to do that. Laser point the knee down. Good. Now bring that left knee back as you move the hip point forward. Raise your chest, broaden your collarbones. Keep looking forwards. Now slightly soften everything. 5% of softness here. Try not to strive and achieve too much. You're just putting a nice stretch and lengthening into your quads. Good. Now, keeping the foot high. Take your hand away again. Stay here. Then slowly bring your foot all the way down. Good. Now, this is where you're going to need your block or your books. And again, if you don't have them, it's fine. But it's just going to help a little bit. So widen your feet, come right to the edges of the mat, and I'm going to put the block down here, just slightly ahead of the feet, even a little bit wider. Look at all of your toes and make sure they're pointing straight forwards. Good. Now, hands on the hips, up a little bit higher. Get really tall, lengthen your chest. And as you fold forward, bring both of your hands onto your block. So you're folding forward, bend your knees if you need to, bring your hands onto your block. And if you want, I think I put the block a bit too far away, so Charlie, move the block back a little bit. And you might want to bring the block up to a higher height. Yeah, that's it. So that you can rest the heels of your hands down. Now, raise your head here and lift up your sitting bones. So it feels as if I put some water in your lower back, the bowl of your back would hold it in place. You kind of feel like you're doing a back bend. Good. Squeeze your legs a little straighter if you can, and lift up those sitting bones so you really lengthen the hamstrings here. And push down through your heels too, so you feel like the calves are also lengthening. Getting a good ankle stretch here too. Good. Now we're going to change this. So from here, Charlie, I'm just going to demonstrate this from the side. Move your block back, place your hands onto your block, and then round down more. That's it. So choose the height of the block that you need. If you don't have a block, then just put your fingertips on the floor. Try and straighten your legs that much more. Lift up your sitting bones. And draw your navel into your spine, so your abdominal muscles are going to be toning to help you lengthen the entire back body. And really do let your head hang. A couple more breaths here. Try and straighten your legs a little bit more if you can. If you find this really easy, by the way, and you're super flexible, and the top of your head is touching the floor, bring your feet a little closer to each other. It makes it a bit more challenging. Good. Now, staying here, we're going to come into a twist. So raise your head up a little bit. Bring your left hand underneath your nose. And I think you should get the block. So put your left hand there. That's it. So actually it's your right. Yeah. Bring your hand out to the side, your right hand out to the side. And as you raise that hand up, come into a twist. So you're turning your chest towards the right side of the room. Nice. Squeeze your legs. Now, stay here or bring the back of this hand around the left side waist. That's it. This is an option. You can stay with the hand up. You can even stay with that right hand on the floor or come into a little bit more of a stretch here for your shoulder. How's that? Good. Okay, now if you have got your hand around that left side waist, stretch the arm straight up again towards the ceiling. Then bring your hand all the way down and change sides. So put that right hand on the block, bring your left arm out to the side, and then come all the way up. This is the last pose we're doing with this wide-legged stance, so don't worry. Option to bring your hand around. Good, that's it, like Charlie is doing. If you're right-handed, this is probably going to be a little tougher on the right side. If you're left-handed, it's a little tougher on the left side. That's it. Try and straighten this bottom arm. Push down through the bottom hand. Maybe twist a bit more, use your ab strength. Then reach that top hand back up again. Then down onto the block or onto the floor. Now bend your knees deeply, bring your hands onto your hips and hinge up to standing. Very good. And then heel toe your feet together. Okay? Good. Now go to the back of your mat. So walk to the back of your mat and turn towards the front of your mat. Good. Bring your feet together and bring your arms ahead. Good. Now, coming very slowly into a squat. Squeeze your knees together and slowly come down. Very slowly. Squeeze your knees together. That's it. Then we're going to do a foot stretch. Bring your hands down to the floor. Bring your knees down to the floor. Keep your toes tucked under. Now, the feet are getting a stretch. You can feel it, right? You can bring your hands down to the floor if you feel like tears are welling up in your eyes. Or you can bring your hands back a bit more, or possibly you can bring your full body weight onto your feet. We're not going to stay here long, about 10 more seconds. Make sure that your little toes haven't gone rogue. Push them forward. For some people, this is agony. Other people could stay here all day. So whatever you're doing, make sure that you're finding a place that you can stay with your hands down or your hands up. You're staying here very well. Okay, now from here, bring your hands back down to the floor. Now, Charlie's going to come into puppy dog pose, and so are you. So walk your hands forward, keeping your thigh bones straight up and down. So come forward a little bit more. Stretch your hands even more forward. Make sure that your hands are apart so that you now have space to bring your head down. Now, your head might not land on the floor, so this is another opportunity to use your block if you need it. Do you need it? I think at least to begin with, no? Okay. Arms straight. Try and keep your wrists off the floor, so straight elbows. Now you're leaning back a little bit too much, like you're coming into child's pose. So walk your hands much more forward, even more. That's it. So the thigh bone is straight up and down. Now stay here for a few more breaths. Try and get a little bit of lightness in your shoulders, like your shoulders are just pulling slightly away from the floor, a little bit more up towards the ceiling. Almost like there's a magnet repelling in your armpits with slight uplift. And as you stay here for about 10 more seconds, gently squeeze your knees a little bit towards each other. So you actually feel your kneecaps roll over the skin in front of your knees. Good. And press your tailbone down towards the floor. So you lengthen the lower back. How's that? Good. Good. Push your hands flat quite strongly. Good. From here, you're going to go into a bent knee, downward facing dog. So do that, Charlie. Pick your head up, slide your hands back a little bit more, widen your feet right to the edges of the mat. So it's going to be a really wide down dog. And when you come up, keep your knees bent. That's it. With your knees bent, you can maintain a flatter back or even a slightly arched back bend. Let your head really hang. That's it. Squeeze your arms strong and really push down through the base of your index fingers and the mushy base of your thumbs. Now begin to straighten your legs slowly so the backs of your legs start to really lengthen. And push your chest back towards your thighs just that little bit more. So you're putting more of your body weight on your legs, which are stronger, and less on your arms. Nice. Make sure you can't see your heels, so when you look through to your feet, your heels are apart. They're not knocking towards each other. Good. Now, from here, you're going to come into a low lunge. So look in between your hands and step your right foot forward in between your hands. You might need to help that leg with your hands. Bring your back knee down. Stay here. That's it. Keeping the back toes tucked under. Keep your fingers on the floor. That's it. Now, press your front foot towards your back knee and your back knee slightly forward. So your legs are engaged and strong. And squeeze your glutes. Stage 1, you might want to keep your fingers on the floor when you do this and over the next few weeks. Or bring your hands onto your front thigh. That's it. And push your chest up. Take your time doing this. If your back knee is sore, you can double up your mat. So I'm going to do that for Charlie now, although I think he doesn't need it. And then you've got a little bit more of a cushioning there for the knee if needed. Or even get your blanket or towel. Okay, now keep that strength work going. So keep pressing the front foot towards the back knee and the back knee forwards. Good. Okay. Now you can stay with this or come to the next stage of interlacing your hands behind your back. Yeah? Do that. And then press your knuckles down towards the floor as you lift up the breastbone. How's your balance, okay? Mm-hmm. And then possibly take it a little bit further by raising the hands up a little bit more behind you. How's that? Try not to dip the headlights of your shoulders down like you do when you're cycling. Try and keep them up as if you were squeezing a pencil in place in your shoulder blades, between your shoulder blades. Good. Okay, now release your hands and bring them back down to the floor either side of your foot. You can release the thing here, that's it. Good. Now, straighten the back leg. So pick your back knee up off the floor and stay here. Good. How's that? Okay. Now, feel free to stay with this or bring your hands again onto your front thigh and push your chest up. How's that? A little bit more. Yeah, it's hard, especially after you've just done a lot of riding. Okay. Now bring your hands down and go back to downward facing dog. So both legs are at the back of the mat again. And you can bend your knees in this pose, it's fine. Yeah. That's it. So we're going to do those low lunges to high lunge on the other side. So step your other foot forward. That's it. Bring the back knee down. Stay here for a moment. Just kind of get the base of the pose sorted first. Press the front foot towards the back knee forward. Good. You can stay here or bring both hands onto that front thigh. That's it. Don't feel like you can only stretch after you've done a long ride or having said that, a run or whatever cardio exercise you might be doing. You can do this at any point of the day, morning, evening, night, on a rest day, on a more active day. Just do it carefully. Good. Now interlace your hands behind your back. This time the non-dominant clasp. So change the interlacing of the fingers. That's it. Maybe straighten the elbows a little bit more. Reach the knuckles down towards the back foot first. And then maybe bring the hands a little higher. Good. Try and keep the chest squared here. So move the right ribs forward a little bit more towards your left knee. Good. And keep the legs strong. Now release the interlace of your fingers. Bring your hands down to the floor either side of your front foot. And then pick the back knee up. So you're straightening the back leg. When you do this, really do try and kind of lock the knee. That's it. Stay with this or bring your hands onto your front thigh, pushing your chest up again. That's it. Maybe come forward a little bit more. That's it. Raise your chest. Squeeze the imaginary pencil in between your shoulder blades. 3, 2, maybe come up a little higher. 1, good. Downward facing dog. So bring your hands to the floor and step back again. In this down dog, bend one knee and press the other heel down towards the floor. So it's kind of like you're pedaling your heels. Do this in the rhythm of your breathing. So inhale on one side and exhale on the other side. Try and keep both elbows straight. Do a couple more of these. That's it. And you can even let your hips swing out to the side a little bit when you do this. So you're getting your hips ready now for what we're going to be doing, really opening up the hips. That's it. Try and finish on the second side. And then when you're ready, bring your knees down to the floor. Now, bring your toenails down. Bring your knees and your feet together and sit. So walk your hands back and sit onto your heels. So this time you're stretching the fronts of your heels. How's that? And come all the way up. Good. Now just a gentle twist here. Bring both of your hands up. So I'm going to go this way. You stay as you are. And twist towards your right. So from here, turn. Bring the back of your left hand to the outside of the right leg and your right hand onto the floor behind you. Very often when we twist, we move the whole head and the shoulders forward. Try and really rotate around the central axis of your body. Now pick up your hands, bring your chest forward and turn the other way. If the tops of your feet, the front of your ankles are really hurting here, feel free to put the block or the blanket underneath your seat so you have a little bit of a spacer there. You can even roll the blanket up and put it underneath the tops of your feet, in between your mat and your feet. Come back to center. Good. Now from here, I want you to lie down with bent knees and your feet on the floor. So just come over to the side and lie down. Yeah, face up, that's it. Knees bent, bend your knees first, then lie down. And you're going to need your strap. If you don't have the strap, it's okay, you can still do this. So keep your left knee bent and pick up your right leg and get your strap. No, so other way. Yeah, you can do this. Yeah, pick up the right leg, that's it. And put the strap underneath the ball of your foot. So the strap is there to lengthen your arms, it's like your arm extender. Okay. Keep the left knee bent, keep the foot on the floor. If you feel like your chin is really raised and this is uncomfortable for your head, you can put the blanket underneath your head. That's it. Charlie was a lot more like that, but over time he's been doing a bit of yoga most days. That's actually much better, but I'm putting that there anyway. Try and really straighten this leg so that you can squeeze the quadricep muscles, and that will support the stretch you're getting in your hamstrings. Now, stay here like this. If you feel really comfortable here, your leg is straight and it's all going well, then you can lengthen the left leg long down the mat. So I think you can, Charlie. Lengthen that leg straight. That's it. But make sure that the knee and the toes of the extended leg, the left leg, are pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Then have a quick look at your right leg. That's the leg that's up that you can see. And see that the knee and the toes are pointing towards your right shoulder. Don't let them turn towards your left shoulder. And that will help to give you a really nice even stretch here. If you're shaking, back off a little bit. Just bring your hands down a little bit more. If you don't have a strap, you can interlace your fingers behind the back of your leg. Okay, now put both lengths of the strap into your right hand. That's it. And then slowly bring your right leg down towards the right side, towards the floor, but don't let the foot rest on the floor. That's it. And try and keep that leg really straight. And if you can take on one more thing, bring the little toe down and the inner heel slightly up. That will help to stretch the inner thigh that little bit more. If you feel like your left hip is coming off the floor, don't bring the right leg down anymore. You don't want to turn the whole pelvis. Press the left ribs in, try and anchor the left side of the body. Good, now bend the knee, inhale, bring your leg all the way up. Good. Take the strap away, but we're still working on the right leg, so just put the strap down. Bend your left knee, bring your left foot back to the floor if it's already there. Bend your left knee. Pick up the right leg if you lengthened it. Eye of the needle. So from here, turn your right knee out to the side. Bring the outside of the base of the shin onto the shelf of your left thigh. Now pick up your left leg off the floor and interlace your fingers behind the back of your left leg. Make sure that you've put your right arm in the gap that you've created with the right leg. So it's through the right leg. And if you feel like your left leg is really far away and you can't reach it, get your strap and put it around the hamstrings, and then you can grab onto it. So again, you've extended your arms. Bring your right ankle a little bit more to the outside of this left thigh. That's it. Separate the toes of your right foot so that the ankle is engaged. And that will help protect the outside of your right knee. Try and relax your shoulders and release your jaw here. We're staying here a little while because I don't want you to pull the knee in too much. It's better that you stay longer and you back off so that you're doing about 80% of the stretch that you could do. So you're being gentle with the right knee here and the right hip. Try and lengthen your breathing. So each inhalation and exhalation has a nice smoothness to it. And now that you've been here for a while, possibly deepen the pose by bringing your left knee a little bit more over to the left, and that will pull the right hip a little bit more. Okay, now release your hands, bring your left foot to the floor, then your right foot, and we'll do those 3 hip stretches on the left leg. So reach around for your strap, and again, if you don't have it, just interlace your hands behind the back of that left thigh. Keep the right knee bent, the right foot on the floor. That's it, and stretch this left leg. This is a really good way to lengthen the hamstrings. It's a safe way of doing it because your back is on the floor. So rather than trying to come into touching the floor where you're kind of putting your lower back into a little bit of a risky position, here your back is completely supported. So this is really safe. Having said that, still be mindful and don't overstretch. It's better that you stay a while, backing off a little bit, just so all the tissues get time to get used to this pulling, this tugging. They're not shocked into it. Check that left knee is pointing towards your left shoulder and the toes too. And like we did on the other side, as you squeeze the quadricep muscles, if you're feeling good here, then you can lengthen the right leg long down the mat. Yeah, if you want to, yeah. And if your right leg is long down the mat, make sure that you're turning the inner thigh slightly down so that the toes keep pointing straight up to the ceiling. How's that? Good. So a couple of years ago, your knee would have been much more bent. This is good, yeah. Okay, now put both lengths of the strap into your left hand, and you're going to bring the leg out towards the left, yeah. That's it. If you want to rebend that right knee and bring the right foot to the floor, feel free. Yeah. And again, try and lead with a little toe slightly down and the inner heel slightly up. That's it. 3. Press the right ribs down so that you're anchoring a little bit more. Got a bit of ballast on the right side. 2. 1. Bend the knee if you need to, so that when you bring it up, it's not so heavy. And then release the strap and prepare for eye of the needle again. So again, that outer hip. So pick up that left leg, put the ankle on the right thigh, and then a little bit more over to the right. So it really is the shin, that's it. And then when you're ready, pick up that right leg, and you can use the strap if you need to extend your arms. That's it. In fact, Charlie, I just want to demonstrate that. So what you can do if you can't reach the leg is right hand holds on, bring the hand inside the leg. That's it. And then this way the arms can relax a little bit. That's it. You can keep that or you can drop the strap. That's it. And separating the left toes here, he's better able to lengthen the inner ankle. Keep it nice and long. Rather than turning the sole of your foot towards your face, the sole of this left foot is really facing the right side of the room. And then the knee is a little safer. Relax your shoulders, jaw, face. Good. Now release. So release the hands, release the belt, whatever you have. Bring both feet to the floor. Now flip over onto your belly. So I'm going to take this away. The cushion goes, sorry. Flip right over onto your belly for cobra pose. Toenails on the floor, but squeeze your legs towards each other so your inner thighs engage. Slide your hands back so that they're by your waist. So not elbows on the floor. So we're doing cobra. So pick your elbows up and slide your hands back so that you're more elbows off the floor, hands are back like that. That's it. That's it. Yeah, so not so easy. Yeah. Now as you push your hands down, you're going to keep your pubic bone on the floor, maybe raise the chest a little bit more. So come down a bit more with your belly. That's it. Yes, very good. 3, imagine that pencil is back in between the shoulder blades. 2, press your legs a bit more towards each other. 1, that helps to keep the lower back nice and broad. Good. And then release, come down. Just stay here for a moment. All the muscles on the back engage when you do cobra, which you need to as a counter pose to the cycling position. So you're opening up the front body and strengthening the back body. Good. Now bring your hands down by your sides, straighten your elbows, palms facing down. Squeeze your legs really strong, and then keeping your knees straight, pick your legs up off the floor, even if it's just a tiny bit. Then pick up your hands, pick up your shoulders, pick up your throat, keep slightly looking down. Very good. 3, see if you can peel up that little bit more. 2, 1. Good, and then bend your elbows, bring your hands underneath your forehead and rest, again for a few moments. So you're letting all the muscles on the back body relax now. Okay, now one more belly down back bend. This time, bend both of your knees and show the soles of your feet to the ceiling. That's it, so bend your knees, that's it. Bring your hands down by the sides of your body again, palms down. Then pick up your hands and with your thumbs facing towards the floor, bend your knees even more and reach around with your hands to grab the base of your shins as best you can, or your feet. Okay, now press your knees a little bit more towards each other. Then maybe pick up your thighs. They might still stay on the floor, but at least bring them towards coming up and pick up your throat, pick up your shoulders, and push your feet towards the back of the room to open up your chest even more. Keep squeezing your knees towards each other so your lower back stays nice and broad. Good. 3, 2, if you can come up a little bit more, then do. 1, no. Then release your legs, come down, and again rest for a moment, letting your forehead rest on the back of your hands, maybe the other hand on top this time. Well done. Now roll over again, so again you're lying on your back. Bend both of your knees. Bend both of your knees, bring your feet to the floor, and cross your right leg completely over your left leg. So that's it. Completely over. That's it. And then draw your knees in towards your chest, so pick your feet up off the floor. Now your right leg is on top, so put your right hand on your front knee, yeah, and then your other hand on the other knee, or change sides, whatever works for you, yeah. And bring your head back down. And you can, again, get the strap and put it over both of your legs and hold on to it if your legs feel too far away. I'm going to put the blanket again underneath the head so that his head has some support. Now, twizzle your ankles a couple of times. You'll probably hear them crickle. So your ankles get to move through the complete rotation and then change direction. That's it. And then let your feet just be still. Notice when you're doing this, if you're hitching up one hip closer to its armpit. If you're doing that, try and push it a little bit away so that you're getting an equal stretch through the lower back, as much as possible. Now, take your hands away, just keep them floating in air. Uncross the right leg and cross the left leg over. This is giving your lower back a really nice pull. That's it. Bring your hands back down. That's it. You can twizzle the ankles here if you want to. If you just want to be still, if you already feel like you've done enough, then that's fine. But do check that you feel like you're not moving the left hip forward or the right hip forward, that they're more or less lying evenly, and that you're not lying more on your right side or your left side of your spine. Only grip with your hands as much as you need to. Relax your shoulders. Yeah. Then release your hands, unhook your legs, bring your feet to the floor. Now, we're going to relax here. If your lower back feels tight or you have any problems with your lower back, please feel free to keep your knees bent and your feet on the floor. Otherwise, for Shavasana, lengthen your legs long down the mat. You can reach around here if you haven't already got something under your head and you want to put something there, then do. Make sure that your palms are turned up or facing in towards your body, and that your fingers aren't straight. So loosen your hands, make loose fists, let your fingers curl in. That's it. Even more, that's it. Press your elbows slightly down so you can draw your shoulder blades a little closer to each other under your back. That's it. And anything that you can do here to make yourself that little bit more comfortable, maybe lengthen your t-shirt down, maybe take your watch off, whatever it may be. You're going to stay here for 2 minutes, completely relaxing. Please don't be tempted to get up and walk away. This is a really important pose. You're practicing the art of relaxation here. So from the crown of your head, all the way down to the soles of your feet, see if you're finding any areas of tension, any knots of tightness, and let them go, let them ease away. From the top of your head down to your feet, slowly take a good 10, 15, 20 seconds to go down your body, looking for tightness and releasing it. And then do it again. And when you feel like your body is as relaxed as it can be, let your whole being relax. Let your thoughts be light. Notice your breathing is also very light. Stay here and let go. And I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Now please bend your knees, one leg at a time, bringing the soles of your feet back to the floor. And roll over onto your right side and stay here, lying on your side. Let the weight of your head still be held by your blanket or your upper arm. Keep your eyes closed. And as you stay here for a few more moments, go back over all those poses that you just did and try and find something that went well, a positive moment. It's a moment of ease, of insight, of maybe doing something that you thought you couldn't do before. Whatever it was, relive it, replay it. Now press down with one hand and then the other hand, bringing yourself up into a seated position. You can sit cross-legged or kneeling, whatever is the most comfortable for you. But bring your hands onto your legs and sit tall. Notice if you're leaning over to one side or more forwards or backwards, and try and sit centrally. Notice your two sitting bones making contact with the ground, and press down as you press the crown of your head up to the ceiling so that you lengthen your spine. Take a couple of deep breaths here. So finish this exhalation and inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Do that again. Inhale and exhale. Now breathe normally. Bring your hands in front of your heart for Anjali Mudra and lower your chin so it touches your fingertips, and you lengthen the back of your neck. Then release your hands and place your palms onto your thighs. Press down as you raise your chin and open your eyes. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you. Well done. So please feel free to carry on with any more sequences that you might enjoy here, up in this little box here. Click on that. And please remember to subscribe. And if you have any comments or suggestions, put them down in the comments box below. And remember to click on the thumbs up. Thank you. And keep doing this. Try and repeat this 2 or 3 times a week, and you really will notice your progress as these poses get easier and you can take them deeper. Thanks for coming. I hope you have a great day.